strings in whatever level of government. The big levels, sure, they're going to have a lot more influence and a lot more access to the levers of power and the levers of control that I just don't have the same access to. One thing I'm kind of surmising, this is maybe just an assumption, maybe this is a way off base kind of assumption, but I couldn't help but notice that people with obscene amounts of power in this world very, very likely hate, despise the constitutional protections that apply to the group of people that they apply to. Now, let's talk about the group of people that constitutional protections apply to. But first, let's talk about other groups of people, because sometimes a lot of this discourse around framing this establishment, this here establishment right here, it centers around groups of people and saying like, oh, well, there's this group of people. Oh, no, but there's this group of people. And then everyone just kind of gets in these hypothetical speculations about different groups of people and what intentions they may or may not be harboring. But there's one group of people that the protections found in the Constitution apply to. And that group of people is, are you ready for it? Everyone. Everyone. Yeah, a lot of people think, and yeah, maybe there's a little bit of a subtle, not so subtle misdirection in that framing in terms of centering the discussion about different groups of people, who they are, what their intentions are, where they're coming from, what they intend to do once they get here, or maybe even the people that are here already and have been here for decades, and then suddenly get kidnapped and then deprived of medical care, and then they find themselves dead. Yeah, that's pretty fucking awful. Pretty fucking awful. And if the protections guaranteed in the Constitution were actually applied, likely that situation never would have come to pass. And in fact, likely this situation would never come to pass. Because this is a detention center. It is centered around the business of detaining. And one of those pesky constitutional protections is against indefinite detention, right to a speedy trial. You cannot be detained without reasonable and articulable suspicion of a crime having been committed. Otherwise, you are secure in your person, paper, effects, as well as household. Yeah, I believe that's the Fourth Amendment, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, that's not just for citizens, by the way. The role of citizens is to be represented. Allegedly. Allegedly. So yeah, citizenship is not something that guarantees you protections by the Constitution. Just being here as a person in a body guarantees you that right. Those protections in the Constitution, those constitutional protections found therein are for people. So if you're a person, that means they apply to you. And isn't it interesting and convenient for the very people that hate that everyone else is legally entitled to those constitutional protections? Isn't it so convenient that the information distribution networks that are owned by those people tend to encourage discussion that is way off the mark and has nothing to do with what's really going on here. Isn't that interesting? I also happen to find it interesting that ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, that was founded in 2003 as a response to 9/11. Huh. And you know what else is funny enough, and funny, not funny haha, because I would be a sick person if I thought this was funny. No, funny isn't like, oh, the air around here smells really funny. Like that kind of a funny. Another funny coincidence, also going back to 9/11, is that legal gray area, the black hole that allows our government to create a special legal designated status that allows you to be indefinitely detained. Take, for instance, Guantanamo Bay, or all those other sites that I can't I can't name, either because I never learned their name or because they're just still not known. You know, all of those sites for extraordinary rendition, if you remember that term from back in the day. Yeah, this is the legacy of 9/11. This is what happens. And like, you know, not getting into whomever you think actually carried out the attacks. I'm just saying that the result is an opportunity for people who hate constitutional protections to set up a very, very profitable industry of detaining people and denying them access to the law as it is clearly outlined in the Constitution. Anyway, those are just my those are my insights that I get from hanging out on the ground here. You're welcome to come by and be peaceful with me. I'm a peaceful protester. I'm engaging in some First Amendment protected activities right now. Right now, much to the chagrin of people, the very people that despise those very same constitutional protections. And the more we fight each other about what this is really not about, the more we just let the people that hate those constitutional protections erode them before our very eyes. You know what? It kind of reminds me of that saying, that one saying, which I'm sure maybe you've heard this before. Maybe you don't interpret it the way that I do. A lot of people hear the phrase, right before you die, your whole life flashes before your very eyes. And I think a lot of people mistakenly interpret that to mean a whole second time. A full and complete second flashing before your very eyes. I have a different interpretation, and I invite you to come and hang out with me. Be peaceful, because you know what? I'm here for the peaceful takeover, my friends, and I hope the same is true for you. All right, talk soon. Bye-bye. Love you all. Hi. Oh, there he goes. He's off work. That guy with the flag driving there, I was asking him the other night if he had to choose between the cross and the flag, which one would he choose? He didn't answer. He didn't answer. I know, it's a real tough question. It really is a very, very tough question. Such a tough question. I guess his shift was over.
Do you know why? So there's been 2 guys who've been released today, or were they just picked up and they actually had like citizenship, and then they released them, and what was
I don't
the reason
for
being released?
I don't know. I think sometimes it's like,
because it's happened twice in the last 2 hours.
Oh, they released 2 people.
Two different people, which
I
was like, what's going on?
I don't know. I don't understand exactly how it works, but it's probably. I think they. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe they had like some kind of like court date set up, or sometimes they can bond out of detention, and then they have to go to their immigration hearing or whatever. Sometimes people are like legal residents, and they just like their family will kind of get in touch with them, and but it's just, it's terrible. I'm sorry, I'm gonna start going into answering your question.
It's absolutely terrible. I just kind of want to understand, like, what are the reasons? Like, what's happening really?
Like, why are some people getting out?
Like, what are the scenarios? Because in fact, it's happened twice today.
Yeah, no. Yesterday when I was here, there was a guy. It was his birthday. They both picked him up and released him on the same day.
Yeah,
it was like the first time.
Why? Like, why would they release him? It must be. I mean, like the legal. Because my understanding is that like they're arresting people at their immigration court hearings.
Yeah.
So why would they release them on bond? Do you know what I mean? That seems. It feels like they have like legal status, and they have no legal status to hold them. It seems like that, but I don't know for sure.
I think that's probably the case in a lot of instances, but it's hard to tell. I'd have to ask them, and I feel like in order to ask them, I'd have to probably be better at Spanish. But
sure.
I'd really like to know myself. That is a very good question.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Hey, one question for you. So, you know that guy that was released today? Yeah. What was the ground for releasing them? Did they have legal status or something?
No. So basically, they release folks, and then they file their cases on the outside.
Okay.
And it could be based on a habeas release, it could be on a bond, or it could just be released on recognizance of parole based on ICE's determination.
Okay.
So it's many, many factors, and they can just walk out because we overcrowded with full on a space. So
it's like an overcrowding. Okay, so yeah.
Well, it's a combination. It could be a habeas release, meaning the district court is ordering somebody released, or it could be released on a bond.
Okay. So usually, you don't think it's usually because they were picked up on mistake?
No.
It's usually some other
No.
reason. Okay.
Well, I mean, you're going to have people who are picked up and they're looking for a specific individual, and then, as part of that process of picking out, they're like, oh, you in the wrong place, wrong time, and we just take you too. So yeah.